Hazel Marshall, a pioneering Texas businesswoman with a strong work ethic and a deep passion for being successful.
She was out in the woods shooting squirrels to feed the family. She used to carry bath water in, and by the time she was a teenager, she used to tell me that people used to say she could outshoot, outride, and outfight any man in Carter County, which was in Oklahoma. She pulled cotton until her hands bled, literally, and the day she graduated from high school, she hopped a bus to Houston. And as time wore on, she got involved in the freight part of like manufacturing facilities. And she went to work for a small freight company. She worked for them, and at the time, the trucking industry was heavily regulated by the Railroad Commission. And this little trucking company was doing a lot of business with Texas Utilities, but they did not have the proper regulation. So when Texas Utilities realized that, they couldn't use them anymore. So Mama saw the opportunity to go out and start her own business, but of course she didn't have the authority either. So that's how she started Hazel's in 1977. And it's been 24/7, 365 days a year for the last 37 years. She did everything. She drove, she sold, she answered the phones. She would transfer the phones to me if she had a run. She'd run a truck if she didn't have the right size truck. She literally built this business from the ground up. She just started growing and growing and growing. She never had a salesperson. It was all basically word of mouth and service reputation.
The business has grown entirely by word of mouth. In fact, not only were there no salespeople, there was really no marketing, and there was no real publication of even the name or logo or brand or anything of Hazel's.
She went out and bought 5 trucks, half-ton pickups, and a flatbed. And we didn't put the trucks on the road till almost June. And every day she fretted, thinking, oh, Susie, this is it, this is it, this is the end. I've got all these trucks and I'm not, doing anything. I said, oh, no, it'll pick up, it'll pick up.
She built this business with determination and grit, but I think part of the reason that it's been so successful is because she was such a kind, generous, compassionate, caring woman.
One thing that never changed through all of those times working with her was her work ethic.
She got this company started by basically, scraping together enough money to buy a used Silverado pickup truck, and she started thumbing through the phone book and calling companies saying, hey, I'll make a delivery for you if you give me a call. And then she'd wait by the phone for the phone to ring, and they'd call and give her a delivery, and she'd jump in the truck and do it herself.
I think I've had 3 role models in my life: my mother, my father, and Hazel.
She was a very smart, intelligent businesswoman. She came from having nothing and was able to put all this together.
And those were the days where women weren't, really making it as much, starting their own business from scratch.
SMU has a library there on campus called the DeGolyer Library, and they have a collection called the Archives of the Women of the Southwest. And it's got about 150 women that have been sort of instrumental in shaping Texas for what it is, and sort of paving the way for women to be successful in many different aspects of society, not the least of which is business. And so, my grandmother was recognized posthumously about a year after her death, and was included in that group of notable women for her efforts and for her sort of pioneering entrepreneurship in the freight industry. She saw a need in the market and stepped in to fill it with a vision and not much more than a vision. And then, she just got out and hustled.
She always wanted to get outside the box, make a better life for her and Debbie and Dusta and that kind of thing. She went in places women didn't go back then and did things women didn't do,
Oh, we all loved her very much. She's an amazing lady, and we miss her.
Created and built by Hazel Marshall, Hazel's Hotshot carries on with strong work ethic and passion while continuing to expand and grow.